वातावरण कितना शांत है ना, कितना सुकून है यहाँ पे, कितना अच्छा लग रहा है। पर बाहर जाके वही प्रेशर, वही स्ट्रेसफुल एनवायरनमेंट, कैसे करेंगे हम ये सब वहाँ पे यार?
हाँ, आप सही बोल रहे। जब इधर से जाके मैं घर जाके मेरे बीवी के मुंह देखता हूँ ना, पूरा शांति बिगड़ जाएगी। और जब मैं ऑफिस में जाता हूँ, मेरे बॉस के मुंह देखता हूँ, इतना इरिटेशन, फ्रस्ट्रेशन सब बाहर आ जाता है। आई डोंट नो हाउ कैन वी प्रैक्टिस दिस। एंड इधर देखो कितना अच्छा लोग है, इतना अच्छा सेवा करने का इतना अच्छा लगता है ना?
बहुत शांत लोग हैं, सही में शांत वातावरण है, शांत लोग हैं, स्केड्यूल फिक्स है, सब कुछ ऑर्गेनाइज है, सब कुछ सही समय में मिल जा रहा है, तो प्रैक्टिस करना कितना इजी हो रहा है। लेकिन जब बाहर जाएंगे तो हम इसको फॉलो कर पाएंगे?
चलो प्रकाश भाई जी से सुनते हैं।
हाँ चलो।
गुड आइडिया।
We all have same. They were giving your questions only to us. Nicely put, no? Okay, good. Even actually, I also have the same question for you. When you leave this place, then what is going to happen, right? That's the most important thing. In this place, everything is so beautiful, so calm, so peaceful. You have the schedules, you have, everybody's positive.
I have an answer. Even the BV and the boss should come here.
BV and boss also should come here. Okay, good. That is one good solution. But you can't control, no? Then they may not want to come. Okay, so I know we have the answers. The good thing is we know the answers, and just a little bit of practice. There's a good question that people normally ask, that things can be a little difficult, so what is it that we have to do? Because we are changing habits. We are changing habits. It's very easy to see the defects in people. It's very difficult to see and appreciate what is good about people. And so what we are doing here, we are just shifting the entire way of looking at things and people. We are trying to see what's the best in everybody. And so if you want that to stick, if you want that stickiness to take place, we have to have a few practices. There must be a few practices which will help us. If we put those practices in place, then we would be benefited a lot. And so we put a few practices over here. We call them, these are the 7 rituals of elevated leaders. So what are those 7 rituals? It's something we can practice, and when we take care of these 7 rituals, I'm sure there'll be a lot of wonderful things. I hope everyone can see the board. Nothing's covering you, right? No blockages, no obstacles except me. I'll bring a chair, then probably it'll be easier. Okay, so before we go to ritual 1, we'll start with ritual 0. What is ritual 0? You remember that? One word, okay, good. So let's do that right now. Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's see what are those 7 things we need to do. At least the 7 things that we need to do that will support us. Okay. So put 7 rituals, and one of the good ways to look at it is we can see one ritual each day, We can take one ritual per day and practice that till it becomes a habit. You can do that more than one a day. You can do all 7 in one day. But I've just put them one ritual per day, so it makes it simple for us to understand and maybe practice as well. And then it becomes a habit. It can happen every single day. So let's study life. It's important. We've been brought into this world without a manual, right? So we have to do some study. We just can't automatically believe, everything that life has to offer. So we have to do some study about life, understand a few very important elements of life. And the more we can understand that, then I think we can live in a better way. So understand, what is life all about? It's a very important study to explore, and probably one of the biggest questions we want to ask ourselves. Who am I and why am I here? So that's study life. And then 2 is detach. And that'll come once you study life, you'll learn that the next aspect of life is be detach. And I'll look at each of these more in detail. Then we're looking at building trust in relationships with your boss, with your spouse, with your children, with whoever is there in life. If there's high trust, then there's amazing things you can do in relationships. If there is very low trust, then it's difficult. The relationship is very tough. Look within. Yeah. So we need to start learning to look within. It's very easy to look out. And in the world today, when you look at people who are applying for certain jobs, they say, I'm an extrovert. And we expect extroverts to be more better than introverts. They say, he's an introvert. I don't think he'll get this job. He shouldn't be able to, succeed because he's an introvert. But on a spiritual parlance, being an introvert is good. They say antarmukhi, the one who's able to see inside. Antarmukhi, sada sukhi. So being an introvert has a very good thing in spirituality and in life. So look within. Think excellence. Our habit is to think success. We should switch from success to excellence. There's a big difference, a big shift. Then we want to flow. I say go with the flow, right? So that's an important aspect. Everything will not come the way you want it to be. And so you should also learn to go with the flow. And finally, did someone make a suggestion? What is that? Oh, there was mobile saying something. Whistling. Yeah. When you go with the flow, you whistle and go with the flow, right? And just keep singing and enjoying yourself. Go with the flow. Because they say when certain things have to be faced, you just have to face it. And just go with the flow. And enjoy yourself. You can't avoid it. You just enjoy it. And then last is simplify. The ones at the back can't see me probably. Okay, what do we do with simplify? So it's very easy today in this world to complicate life. And it's very, very complicated to simplify life. It's an art actually to simplify. Complicating life is easy. Simplifying it is a tough thing nowadays. And so we have to do that as well. One of the rituals is simplify. The more simple we could be, the easier it would be for us to move forward and to be elevated and to continue this journey of happiness, peace, love, power, everything we want. So let's start with what are we going to do on Sundays, right? Because today is a Sunday. So let's take the first day. So on Sunday is the day of Sabbath, the day when we are supposed to be doing some study. It's important for us to learn life. Otherwise, this is how we'll struggle. We'll be pulling the door when it has to be pushed. And so you could be doing that all day long, all week long, all year long, and full lifetime you might be just trying to pull the door and wonder, why is it not opening? But you're doing it in the wrong direction. And so you could get really frustrated with life and with others. So we just have to learn a little bit. And once you get to learn the technique, It probably is just a fingers push and then you'll get it right. So it's not that difficult if you learn and understand things. What are the two most basic things we got to learn about life? Or are the three important things here? Who am I? What belongs to me? And what is my purpose? Which is why am I here? These are certain questions which are called the $1 million questions. And there are people who keep searching for this through their lives. We are also in that same pursuit. We are moving forward in life, asking ourselves these questions on a daily basis. Every day we get different answers for ourselves. Of course, we have a generic theme. We know the difference that we've seen earlier, but I think it's a question that we need to constantly keep contemplating on. So at least one day you can dedicate, which is a Sunday. So who am I? Any answers? Human. That's it. Human. Human is the flesh and bones. Human. No, along with human, what else? Beings. Okay, thank you. We are human beings. Don't forget the being part. Yes, please. I'm the observer. Okay, good. I'm the one who's observing through this body, through my eyes, the one who's looking. What else? I'm energy. Okay, you can feel that, right? You can. So where does this energy reside in the body? Between the eyebrows. Okay. So yeah, I am this energy, and you can probably see that very clearly when we pass away. That's when sometimes the answers are very clear when we see somebody dying, right? When somebody dies, the body, the flesh, the bones, the human is there, but the being is missing. That living being, the one that's the observer, the one that is the feeler, the one that is a thinker, is not there. So that observer, feeler, thinker, that being that is alive, that is having this, this spark in it, which is really making it stand like where it is right now, and able to do what it has to do. So the one who's really the being who is communicating through this body is missing in that dead body. And when we see that, many times we do get closer to wanting to understand life. You say, wow, is this what happens eventually? I mean, after all those things that I've been doing and all those things I've been accumulating, those people who I've been thinking love me and I love them, and now all of a sudden nobody can do nothing about this? And all the wealth the person has, nothing at all? No. And so then we really want this question. It really becomes very strong to us. Really, who am I and why am I here? What should I really be doing? It becomes very, very pertinent at that point in time. The problem is that just stays for some time. Maybe for 1 day, 2 days, for 12 days. And then back to square one, and we continue life. And we forget all those questions and we think we don't need to worry about them. Because nothing is going to happen to me. I'm safe. Well, that's a fact though. I'm immortal in this body which is mortal. And so that's a very important part to know. Why am I here? So we did explore who am I. We did see some of our core values, right? We saw those things and we saw this is the one I am really. And I'm the one who is the living being who has these beautiful qualities. These are the qualities that I have. And we saw those 6 other qualities there that is very intrinsic to all of us as souls. That's what we call ourselves, souls, spirits, Atma, Ruh, whatever name we give to it, but that's who I am. Well, that's an important aspect. So I always need to distinguish body with the being, spirit, because that's when you don't get too caught up into materialistic things and you don't mix your identity with materialism. You use those things for your use, but you don't get stuck in that identity. And you free yourself from those titles, you free yourself from those roles, you free yourselves from those possessions and those positions. And so then you know that I am not all those, but I'm playing roles in those places. And that distinction is very important. So on Sunday, it's a good thing to sit and contemplate and go deep into these ideas. All right. Another question is, what belongs to me? So if you know the first question, who am I? Then what belongs to me? My deeds. Okay. That's good. My deeds. So the soul, the idea of this being who's this living entity inside, it does have something called sanskars. Sanskars are those traits, the personality traits, which is why people are born, right? Kids are born, and they have some wonderful traits. I mean, for the 5-year-old, Beethoven can actually come and do a interesting symphony or something like that. Something that's unimaginable for somebody. They've not learned it. They just come back and wow, they can do it very well. So sanskars we carry with us. And so it's important for us to see on a daily basis, what can I do to have sanskars which are divine, which are positive, which are powerful, which are all of those qualities that I have. How can I fill those sanskars in me through the day, through the week, as I move forward? Because if I leave today, that's what I take with me. And of course, the good actions that I do in this world. As you sow, so shall you reap. So all the good actions that I do is what I take. And nothing else will come with me. Yeah? Zero. That's important. And so therefore, it's not that because nothing else can come with me, I stop having things. But I start understanding what is that I'm going to take back with me, and I start focusing on that. I pay energy to those things that I'm going to take back. If you're going to pack for a vacation, if you're going for, say, 5 days, and if you're going for 15 years, I'm going to one place for 5 days and coming back, and then I'm going to go for 15 years somewhere else. When I'm packing my clothes, my focus will be on which trip, the 5-day trip or the 15-year trip? 15-year trip, you sure? Yes. All right, so in this world, I'm going to be here for maybe 80 years, 100 years. All right, I'm packing for those. Every day I'm doing certain things for these 80 years. But I have a journey which is eternal after that. Am I packing for that? Am I packing for the eternal journey? Am I focusing more on the eternal journey? Or am I focusing more on the 80 years? If you actually pack for eternal, then the 80 years actually is taken care of in the eternal journey. But if I only pack for 80 years, I'm not actually focusing so much on the 80 years, and I could completely miss out on the eternal journey. And so that's an important part for me. So the sanskars and the deeds that I do, which is why we are trying to see in our relationships, others change, don't change, but what are my deeds, what are my actions, what are my sanskars I'm creating in me? That person could be having those sanskars. Because of the sanskar, do I want to spoil my sanskars? Especially when I understand that I'm packing for eternity, they may be packing for 80 years. So they have different perspectives completely. And so it's important for me to see how I can do that very well. And the last one is an interesting one. What is my purpose? So let's do this together in a nice way. Can we think of something in nature that you love a lot? Something from nature that you resonate with? So for example, I might love the tree. You could love the mountain, it could be the star, it could be the sun, it could be anything in nature that you like. What I'd like you to do is, if you can just quickly draw a small sketch of that thing that you like from nature. Take a blank sheet of paper, a small sketch. We're not talking about a big Picasso, but just a sketch. Okay, so just a simple sketch like that. Okay, now that you have the sketch of it, I want you to think about three things that this thing contributes to its environment. So if I want to think of three things that, what does this contribute to the environment, the tree? Provides shelter. It provides shelter, certainly. It gives shade, it gives oxygen, it gives fruits. So one of the things it does through fruits, and through other stuff that gives oxygen, probably gives life, contributing life. It contributes comfort. So I'm not just looking at the fruits, but from the fruits, what does that fruit run? What do you mean when it gives fruit? What does it contributes to nature? I could write fruits straight away, or I could say, I might want to say health. It could also be sustenance, right? So it might be giving life, it may be sustaining people, and so on and so forth. So can you think about three things that whatever you've mentioned there is the contribution towards the environment and to people and to everything else that are around that particular thing that you mentioned as your object?
Sun and river. Sun.
So think about the contributions of the sun. What does it contribute? Okay, it gives energy. What else? So please write those three things at least. 3 to 4 things, 5 things. Okay.
Power. Health, vitamin D.
Wow. Okay, good. That's sun for you as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so great. Water. Okay, think about 3 things that water does contribute. All of them are same? What is yours? Hut. Earth. Yeah, what does earth give? Life. Health. Sustenance. Okay, good. Okay. So does anyone have something different, unique? Yeah. Rainbow, yes. And what? Very nice. What does it give?
It gives beauty to all the nature
Okay, spreads beauty.
and it fits color into the nature.
Okay, fills color into nature.
It gives happiness to us.
Gives happiness. Happiness. Wow. Okay, so these 3 things are coming close to something which is called my purpose, my mission. If I look at what is it that I want to really do outside, what should my purpose be? If I really resonate with something from nature, if I genuinely like the tree and I really get pulled by the tree, I'm actually pulled by what it gives out. And so the tree to me is giving a lot of life to people. And so I also like to see in some way, not necessarily giving life as in I need to start giving life to people, but how can I how do I make people alive? Because many people could be living, but they may not be alive. Possible?
Yes.
So how could I bring life into life? So that could be one of my purposes. It could be health. What is it that I can do in my life? And one of my purpose could be, can I bring health to people? It could be mental health, it could be physical health, it could be spiritual health, it could be health in terms of social health. But health is one of my purposes. And in a very unconscious way, I've actually started discovering what is my purpose by thinking about what do I like from nature and what are those things that thing is contributing. And then comfort. I like to have people comforted. I'm not a person who likes to disturb people. I'm not a person who likes to question the status quo. I'm a person who's more comforting, settling, one who is usually able to resolve things. So that's the kind of purpose that I have that I can bring into this world. And so for me it's nice to have that. Thank you. Okay, so it's important for us to know our purpose. And guess why? You see, Gallup, this institution, company called Gallup, which does a lot of surveys for employee engagement surveys. 2017, it did a survey for employees to check what's the level of engagement of people in organizations. All right, what is the percentage of people who are engaged? Engaged in organizations means they look forward to coming to work. They like the job they do. They like to come and spend time in that particular space. And so what's the level of engagement that people have? So they found out how much percentage of people were actually engaged in their jobs. Can you guess the number of engaged? 5. It's too low. Well, thank God it's not. That would be danger for all of us. 30%. 70% of the people are disengaged in their jobs. Now, people could try and have engagement officers. People in the HR could try every single stunt to see how we can get people more engaged. But where do you think engagement comes from? How do you think you can have people that drive to come into the work and do something that they've got to do something? How that drive comes? It comes from inside. It comes to the motivation, which is self-driven, will come only from one place, that is from your purpose. If you're able to align your purpose to your work, if you can see that I come to work and I'm able to fulfill my purpose in my workspace, you love to be there. But if you're not able to fulfill your purpose at your work, you feel disengaged and you want to go elsewhere and fulfill that purpose because there's a human need to contribute their purpose. They want to give what they're there for. Even if it's not very conscious, but you will feel a dissonance if you're not in that space where you're giving what you would have for doing in this world. And so when you discover their purpose, all that it requires is to see how can I bring this into my workspace, which is possible. How can I see within the limited space that I have, whilst I have my objectives to fill, I've got those targets, I've got those things to do, results, in a small way, can I start contributing? This alignment makes a huge shift in the way people will actually start being more engaged, and therefore they're far more motivated people. So discover your purpose, understand it, and start seeing how you can bring that into your daily work. Look for opportunities, create environments, situations where you can actually start contributing, giving. And that is one of the best ways of healing if you are not engaged in this particular place where you work. Okay. Is that okay? So on Sunday, what are we going to do? We're going to study 3 very important things. Who am I? What belongs to me? And what's my purpose? All right. So this will keep you really awake. Otherwise, you will be in a slumber, just going in that wheel, running from this place to that place, pillar to post every single day like a machine, not realizing why I'm here, what I'm doing. You're just running that rat race because everybody else is running it. So this is important for you and for all of us and for me as well. Okay, what do we do on what comes after the Sunday? Okay, Monday. It says detach from the mundane on a Monday. So this is an interesting term, detachment, and I think many a time we can misunderstand this word, and which is why we don't give value to this word detachment, because we think that detachment means leaving things off, letting go, and I'm detached. Well, you can detach from things which are unhealthy, where you can let go of those things which really are not significant in your life. But the other word, reason what detachment means over here is a little bit more deeper. It's a real deep thing here. You heard of King Janak, Raja Janak? And there's this guru, his name is Ashtavakra. Okay, so Ashtavakra is supposed to have 8 different, disfigured parts in his body. So you can imagine 8 different, disfigured at 8 joints. And so obviously, if somebody is disfigured with one place itself, they might seem a little awkward, right? Now he's got 8 joints disfigured. And so as soon as he walks into the palace of Raja, everybody, all those great learned people who are supposedly very smart, start laughing at him. And they're supposed to be nice, the advisors to the king. And so the king actually wanted to know, can somebody teach me how can I actually be happy? I really want to enjoy, and I want some sort of a liberation when I'm living, and I don't want to be happy sometimes, sad sometimes. I don't want to get into those places. I want to really understand life, and I want to be happy. And so Ashtavakra comes and he says, I have an answer for you. And when he comes to give the answer, always everybody laughing at this person. He says, first of all, I want to tell you that everybody in your palace are what does chamars are? The people who deal in leather, right? What are they called? Chamar in English. Cobblers. Yeah. He said everybody in your darbar are cobblers, including all those learned people. So Raja Janak asked, why do you think they are chamars? He said because they judge a person by their skin. And so they are all cobblers. And I think that's a good learning for us when we are trying to go beyond the skin of people, beyond the body, beyond the physical. We need to really see the soul and understand and appreciate that. So anyway, he starts from there and then he says, okay, I have a simple solution for you. Can you give me your mind? Just give me your mind. Let me have control of your mind just for one day. He says, okay, I can do that. He says, okay, now my mind is yours. So he gives his mind to this person. Raja Janak just says, okay, fine, you can take charge of my mind. And so when he takes charge of his mind, he says, now if your mind is with me, then whatever you have around you in terms of the palaces, the people, the properties that you have, whom does that belong to you? He says, well, it doesn't belong to me. It belongs to me because my mind is with you right now. So nothing belongs to me now. So he taught him a very valuable lesson. He says, if you just take away this particular possessions that is there in your head, everything that is outside there, we are actually possessing inside here. He says, the moment you can remove that from here, you have peace and happiness. As long as you're actually holding them here, the possessions, so you might think that you have those possessions, but actually the possessions have you. You don't possess them, but they possess you. And so as long as they are possessing you, then you're going to be dancing to their tunes. And you're never going to have stability, you're never going to have peace, you're going to have happiness. And so the first thing is detachment was nothing to do with leaving them and running away from the country. Take them away from here. That was detachment. Continue staying there. Continue looking after everything. Continue doing what you got to do. Take care of everything 100% like you did before. But just do not let them possess you anymore. And he said, wow, that was so beautiful. And so detachment from us as well. Look at everything that is possessing you, that you believe you possess. You remove that belief of possession, they will also leave your possessing you. And then wow, there's freedom then. True, real freedom is that freedom from that possession. Alright, so we're going to do something practicing on a Monday. So if you're going to sit for meditation, would you all sit every day for meditation? No. Why should we? Are you motivated to sit with yourself? Probably you are doing that already every day. Yes. No, you're doing that every day. Yeah. So
trying to do it every time.
Every time to make it a very natural space. It's not necessarily I have to sit for 15 minutes. I'm a 15-minute yogi, and then I stand up. So when I'm sitting, I'm saying I am peaceful. I'm a peaceful soul. So 15 minutes, I experience the most greatest peace of mind in the world. What a beautiful meditation. And then I walk into the office and somebody says, you were not supposed to do this yesterday. How dare you speak to me like that? I lose my peace of mind in 1 second. So which means I didn't carry that state with me. And so this nice point, right? We need to be that, not just a 15-minute sitting yogi, but we want to see how we can break it a part of our life. And so we can constantly keep going inside and up and then come forward. Constantly go in, go up, and go onward. Yeah, so that's a very important exercise I keep doing for myself every time. Okay, so if you're going to be doing sitting meditation every day for about half an hour, usually the question that people have is, I don't know what to think during that time of meditation. My mind is going in all directions. All unnecessary thoughts come into my head. Well, obviously, because we don't have an aim, we don't have an objective, we don't have a certain theme in that meditation. When you have a theme, you know what you're going to sit for in that particular space of time, and then you have a very interesting thing to contemplate on. Wow. So, the early one, who am I? Is a beautiful theme to contemplate on. What belongs to me? And then, what's my purpose? Half an hour. It's not enough, actually. All the greats of the world usually take 1 hour for them, and they sit before they get into any other work. They sit down, understand, what am I here for? What are my strengths? What's my purpose? And then they come into this world. So, detach from the mundane. So that's a good theme to contemplate on. Monday, okay, let me contemplate on detachment. Let me see what are all those things that are possessing my head. How do you know what's possessing your head? Remember, if there's anything that is happening outside that starts affecting you inside, it means that is possessing you. If somebody tells something about your job title and you get affected, it means you've been possessed by the title. Somebody says something about a certain thing in your house, you get disturbed, you've been possessed. By chance, if somebody has not taken care of something at home, you can come and scream and shout at people. Well, can't you see this is a new vase I got for so many rupees from there? And so you were actually having that here. You didn't realize it. And so we should be careful. All right, so yes, we should take care of it. But if we start seeing that it's really now possessing me, then that's the danger. Okay. So any questions on detachment? It's easy to understand, right? Detachment does not mean leaving things and running away, leaving people and not talking to them. That's not detachment. It is taking it out of here. In fact, if you're more detached, you become more loving. The more detached you are from things, the more you can continue to love. Because when you're attached, you will love only if you get something in return. If that stops coming, then you will stop giving. That's called attachment. When there is no attachment, you will keep giving. You will keep loving. You will allow that energy to flow. Detachment blocks that energy. Okay, what do you want to do on a Tuesday? You want to build trust. Building trust on Tuesday. Is that an important aspect of life, trust? In relationships. If people truly trust you, they will not question you too many things. Where were you? What did you do? Who did you meet? What happened? All those questions. If there was trust, for me to go into the airport and to fly to another country would have been so smooth. Now because they don't trust me, they'll stop me. They'll say, okay, remove your watch, remove your wallet, remove your belt, remove your shoes, remove everything, and take out your laptop from your bag, put it over here, throw it through a scanner, and now you walk through it. And then they'll scan me again. All those things. Why? They don't trust me. Already the trust has gone down, right? They don't, at least human beings, if you see the trust level has gone down, which is why we have to do things and take so long. If there was great trust in organizations, if there was great trust amongst people, things would have been so easy, so smooth, so fast, so much better. Yeah, when you trust your leader, you're ready to do anything for that person. When you don't trust that person, then you say, no, you give it to me in writing first. Can I see it? Can I see that in an email? Can I have it in writing? And all those things happen, and therefore delays things out. If you trust your client, you can do so many things so fast. You don't trust, you say, first show me the money, then I will give you the goods. So that's because of lack of trust. And so it can take a lot of time in that particular way. So it's important for us to see, what can I do in relationships to develop trust? How do you develop trust? One very important aspect for developing trust is to be consistent. Today you see me, you meet me, I'm smiling, I'm happy with you. Hi Satish, how are you doing? Great to meet you, blah, blah, blah. Tomorrow you come and see, because I didn't have a good day in the morning, you come and see me, I don't say hi to you. I'm like, I don't even acknowledge you. The day after tomorrow, I'm in a good mood, again, I'm okay with you. Now the fourth day you come, you don't trust me, right? The fourth day you don't know, should I go and say hi or should I not say hi? I'm not sure about this guy's mood. So it's very important for us to not keep going up and down and depending on the weather condition, my weather in the head keeps changing. Shouldn't be that way. I should be more consistent, more strong. That's why strength is important. You see, one of the virtues of an inner leader is power, resilience, strength. Because lots of ups and downs happen there outside. How strong are you inside? And so that strength will make sure that you stay in that space of consistency. You're happy, you're positive, you're powerful. And you have to stay that way always, not sometimes. So this is what we're trying to understand by building trust. The other way to build trust is by respecting others not because of what they have achieved, not because of their titles, but just respecting them because they are human beings. Truly just respecting everybody. And when you actually have the respect in people, people trust you. They do this in, I think, Disney World. Who are the customers for the people in Disney World? The kids, right? Children. So it seems the people, all those usherers who are there at the gates who are welcoming the kids, you know how they welcome them? Whenever the kids come, they don't stand up and say, "Hey, young boy, how are you doing?" They don't do that. They go down, "Hello, young boy, how are you?" So they go down on their knee and they try and come in the same level of the kids, and they want to greet them and they want to bring them in, they want to make them feel welcome. Why do they do that? It's just respecting them, you know. Just respect, just makes them okay. Just gives them the feeling that you're like me and I like you, you know. So they just love that when somebody can come down, look at them. They don't want to look. So it just makes it easier for them. It makes it nice. It makes it feel very good. So I think it's important to respect people for who they are. Just allow them to be where they are. Just allow them, respect them, and value them. You start building more trust. And be consistent with your mood. Right? So these two things are very important if you want to build trust. And when you start building trust, people trust you, then when you tell something to them, they'll immediately do it for you. And with every transaction, you either build trust or you reduce trust. So we have a trust account, they say. Each of us have a trust account with everybody else. So think of everybody in your life. You've got a trust account with each of them. With some of them, the trust account is full. You got lots that you can draw from. With some people, your trust account is very low. And so why is that the case? Because in every transaction, you have an opportunity either to build, to make a deposit into that trust account, or to make a withdrawal from that trust account. So when you respect somebody, when you're consistent, when you're looking at the pureness of that soul and giving them appreciation, a compliment, genuinely, what are you doing? Are you depositing or withdrawing? You deposit. With all these good things, with good acts that you're doing, you're depositing. Yeah, when you are able to embody all these values and qualities, when you're in the interaction, you develop and build the trust. Every time you step away from this and you do other stuff with them, you're making withdrawals. So you start shouting, you get angry, you get frustrated with people, you show your irritation. And if you're being very moody, wavering in terms of your mind moods, with that you're always making more and more withdrawals in relationships. So it's important for us to see what other things I can do in my relationships now, especially where my trust is low. How do I want to go back and make more deposits there? How do I go and make more deposits? I start with appreciation. So easiest, quickest, fastest way. Sincere appreciation, not manipulation. Coming and appreciating somebody because I want a good account there. I want to build my trust account, so I want to just appreciate you. So we don't do that. So build trust on a Tuesday. Yes, please.
Today's life, I do agree, yes, trust has to be there. Of course, with the people who have trust, we build it. Just giving some examples, like IMA account.
Yeah.
He misused the trust.
Yeah.
The IMA scam which happened recently. People believe they put their deposit. Like, I trust you, I put my deposit. Now, breach of trust.
Yeah.
And it's a large scale. And you trust, you give something, custody of something to them. They exploit that.
Yeah.
You trust that environment. There are people, thieves today, come in a garb, they come like babas, they come like... So, these are the day-to-day people are worried. Trust. Like, today in a cab, they have to have another guard to also go along with the driver, women when she travels, and that's become the law. So it's just frequent every part of life. The trust is gone.
So overall, what brother is suggesting is that overall nowadays, wherever we go in life, we see that there are a lot of scams, there are a lot of safety issues with women in taxis and all that stuff. And so generally, we are speaking, the trust has actually started going down in this world. Yeah, that's a fact. Trust is going down. And so individually also, the levels of trust usually are down. People find it very difficult to trust another person because of everything that's happening around. And so it's become a bigger challenge for us now to build and to get the deposits up, put more deposits, and be more consistent, and be more connected with your core values. See how you can stay in those values rather than stepping out of them. And then you can start building that trust. Is that okay? Okay. Okay, so what are we doing on Wednesday? Wednesday we're looking within. We are looking within on Wednesday. So this is a good image of a magnet that attracts a lot of wonderful things. And so when you look within, what happens is usually if whatever I want in life, I'm actually looking outside. And there's a beautiful story about this farmer who was in this village, and there was somebody who was passing by from this city. He comes to the farmer's house, he asks him, "Can I stay in your house for one day?" He says, "Okay, fine. Stay over for myself." Because of those days, very friendly villagers, levels of trust was very high. They would allow people to come and stay in their house for the day. So he stays in the house, and he asks the farmer, "So what do you do?" He says, "Well, I have a small 1-acre farmland, and I'm doing my farming every day. I have a wife, I have a kid, and I take care of them, and I'm happy, very content in life." "What do you do?" he asked the guy from the city. He says, "Well, I'm a diamond merchant." He says, "What's that?" He says, "Well, I go and look at different places at mines, and I find diamonds, and we mine those diamonds." He says, "What are diamonds?" He says, "You don't know what diamonds are?" So the farmer, obviously he's from the village, he says, "Well, no, I don't know what's a diamond." He says, "These diamonds, even if you get a diamond which is as small as this, it'll take care of 2 generations of yours." He says, "Really, just that much? And that's it?" "Yeah." "Where do you get them?" He says, "Somewhere around Africa." Next day, in fact that night, the farmer didn't get to sleep. It was the first day he has absolutely lost his whole sleep. Because why? So far he was very content. Yeah? But now he says, "Well, I definitely have to go and search for this diamond because I've been struggling all my life. Every single day go to the farm and plow the lands and come back and feed my family." Well, he was content till then, yeah. But now suddenly there's something which was not required came into his head. So anyway, next day he packs his bags, and his mother, his family, and his kid asks, "So where are you going, Papa?" He says, "I'm going to look for diamonds. I'm going to Africa." So he goes with this, person who came from the city, and so they go away in search. Before he goes, he sells off that farm land to his neighbor. He says, "You take care of the farm. I'll get the diamonds and come back for you." And so he goes off, and he's not to be heard for a very long time. Meanwhile, another passerby, who's also a diamond merchant, comes and knocks the door of one of the villagers, and the villager opens his house. He says, "Well, can I stay for a night?" He says, "Please stay for a night." And then he stays there, and in the night they have a chat. "What do you do? What do I do?" All the stuff. And then this guy sees a small stone in his house. He says, "What's this stone?" He says, "It was just there on my, the land which was sold to me by the neighbor who went to buy some diamonds. So I found the stone. I didn't know it was quite heavy and it was quite interesting. So I just kept it here." He said, "Can I see it?" He says, "Oh, have a look at it." So he takes the stone and starts chiseling it off and pushes it off. And he says, "Wow, guess what? This is a diamond. Where did you get it from?" That 1-acre land which my farmer sold to me, it's there." He says, "Come on, let's go and have a look at it if you don't mind." In the night, they go with all the lights, and then they start digging the whole thing. And he says, "Guess what? 1 acre full of diamonds." And so let's imagine this farmer who had everything in his backyard forever. He always had it there, and he had to leave everything to go to search for the same thing somewhere else. And we don't even know whether he'll ever find it there or not. So it's a very interesting tale about our own selves. We sell our health, we sell our relationships, we sell our peace of mind, we sell our happiness, we sell all those beauty that is already with us. We give everything up in search for happiness, peace, love, power, everything that we want, we already have. But we are giving it all up so that I can go and get it back. And then I find it very difficult to find it from all those things that I'm actually doing. And I'm wondering, where is it? I'm not getting it really. It comes for some short time and goes off. I have everything but I'm not happy. I have everything but my so-and-so is not happy. This person is not like this. So and there's always this issue about I'm not able to get what I want. Well, because we've stopped looking inside and we believe it's all outside. So what you want, you already have. What you're looking for is already in you. In fact, it is looking for you. If you read The Alchemist, or if you read the book The Secret, right? It's actually looking for you. And so you just have to be and allow everything to just come. You attract it rather than running and jumping around. So just look within. Just know that it is there. Value those things and let them grow there. Okay, so that's what we're going to do on Wednesday. So you have a lot of beautiful themes to contemplate upon during your meditation. Okay? And then we go on to a Thursday. We are going to focus on excellence on Thursday. Think excellence on Thursday. Aristotle says, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence is therefore not an art, it's a habit. Excellence is a habit. And so what do you want to be excellent at is what you should ask yourself. Success is a term which is today really resorted for. Everybody wants to be looking as they want to be successful, right? Is there anything wrong with that?
As long as it's innate, it's good.
Okay.
Put in negative, try to put down some peace.
True. So sometimes when success becomes an overriding thirst and desire inside, we would be ready to do anything under the sky to be successful. I can cut corners, I can break relationships, I can overcome all my values, my moral principles, everything because I want to be successful. And then that success is not going to serve me one bit. It's not going to help me at an internal level, or sooner or later it's going to be taken away because it doesn't deserve to be with me. And so I feel it's very important we stop looking at success and start thinking excellence. If I want to be able to rise in an organization, let me look at wanting to be excellent in certain aspects, certain areas. Can I become excellent somewhere? They say if you can focus on excellence, success will follow you like a shadow. You just become excellent and see how success comes behind you. But if you start running behind success, then it's going to be chasing you like a mirage. You're never going to be seeing it. It's going to be just, okay, here's success. The moment you think you reached it, it's gone there again. Oh, that's success now. Yeah, so initially the success is a small box you want to get. This is what success looks like in the start. So, I'm going all the way to a place called Dubai. Why do I go to Dubai? I want to be successful. What does success mean for you? Hey, 1-bedroom flat and a car. So I want to be successful. And so when I get that success, the neighbor has got a 2-bedroom flat now. And so my success box has just become a little bigger. Alright, so now my chase for this success continues. The journey is going on, right? And as soon as I get this success, then what happens to that box? It's something bigger now. And so it keeps on going on. And I'm just, running behind this S box, not realizing very soon that there's another box. Yeah, what is that box like? Soon where I'm going to be, right? Chasing after success, I don't know what is going to happen. So I think it's good to be excellent, because when you're going to try and be excellent, you're going to be happy actually. Excellence is something that's going to give you a lot of beautiful feelings. It's going to make you feel good. So if I want to be excellent, I want to be excellent in the way I'm going to be peaceful. I want to be excellent going inside, upside and ups. I want to be excellent in these areas. So choose excellence rather than a success, because if you choose excellence, you're actually becoming nice in certain things. You're going to do certain things very nice, and you're going to love doing those things. Then there's no question of failure. The best thing is, if you're looking for excellence, there is no failure. But if you look for success, then failure is going to be another big problem in your life. And you're going to be really worried about failure. You're going to be scared about failure. You're going to be embarrassed with failure. But in excellence, nothing. You're just going to be keeping that bar for yourself, and you're going to keep going, have a bow and a head and moving forward in life. So choose excellence and look for excellence rather than success. And so it's nice for you to sit down, and another way to contemplate is, what does excellence mean to me? What are those things I want to become excellent at? And what should I do for that? And start working on excellence. And everything else will come their way. Friday. What are we doing on a Friday?
Bhagyada Lakshmi Bharan.
Sorry?
Bhagyada Lakshmi Bharan.
Okay. Friday, is it? Okay, good. It's Juma for us in Dubai. It's like the Sunday for us. Friday in Dubai is a Sunday. It's a weekend there. It's the day of prayer, right? The main day for prayers is Friday. So we want to go with the flow on Friday. So there's a good saying. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. Live it, love it, learn from it. Make your smile change the world, but don't let the world change your smile. You should go with the flow. Everything happens for a reason. Just enjoy and learn from it. I say many times, yesterday was a day of forgiveness, and I saw so many people forgive. You had the forgiveness day. Remember that? And we saw some very good stickers. Today is the day of thanks. Yeah, so please remember to thank people. Gratitude and forgiveness are very, very beautiful things that heal the heart. So when you go with the flow, you forgive people very easily. You don't hold on to that baggage. You don't hold on to grudges. You don't take on too many things. You're going with the flow. Okay, this is how you are. I'm going with the flow. I'm not here to change you. Yeah, I'm here for myself. I know I can control myself. So I'm just going with the flow. Whatever comes my way. There are some things that you can change. Some things you cannot. The things you can change, please do change them. Alright, so I'm a smoker and I don't like to smoke. I want to go with the flow. Right? Go with the flow. I just learned that at the center, Go with the flow. So why get tense about all these things? Well, certain things you have complete control of. Change those. If you think they're not helping you, if it's not good for you, change them. Things that you cannot, that's when you go with the flow. Alright, so that's why they say, usually things outside of you, you have no control over. Things, everything to do with you, you have 100% control. So it has to do with you, with the way you think, with some of the behaviors, with some of your habits. You have 100% control. Take charge, change those things. Anything outside of that, you might be able to influence it, you might be able to coax people, educate them, you can motivate them, you can inspire them, you can even sometimes, which happens sometimes, you can blackmail them, or you can terrorize them. But you cannot control anybody. Even if you terrorize them, they can still say, no, I don't want to do what you tell me. Do what you want, but I will do what I want. So that's a very important lesson for stress, especially stress management. For people who are stressed, one of the biggest causes of that is because I have this feeling, or I have a strong belief that I can control things outside of me. And when they are not in my control, I start getting very stressed. Why is that guy like this? Why is this person like this? Why all these last minute things? Why is that happening to me? So you're asking all the questions of why? And you're stressing yourself. You are not going with the flow because you cannot do anything about those things. They are outside of you. And the other reason for that stress is you are not changing yourself where you have 100% control. You see that paradox? So here I am in this position. I have full control over myself. I'm not controlling anything. I'm not changing anything here, whereas I can. I'm in this position where other people, I can control nothing over here, but I'm trying to see why can't this change? Why can't this change? So I'm trying to control everything in this side where I have zero control over, and I don't change anything here where I have 100% control over. So would I be stressed or not? I certainly will be burnt out and stressed. So it's great to see how on a Friday I go with the flow. And so another thing to contemplate, what are the things I need to go with the flow? What are the things I have to change? What are the things that I have to let go and say, okay, fine, that's outside of me. I cannot control. It's a false thinking about controlling others. It is not right thinking. It's a fallacy. There's zero control outside of me. Right? How many of you get upset when India loses a match? Any control of it? You have full control over your mood. I had a very, very interesting friend of mine. He would go for a driving test, right? He'll go for a driving test, and now he would focus on his driving as much as possible. And the result will be dependent on the inspector. He says, I have no control over the result. Every time he comes back from the test, he'll bring laddus for us. He says, guys, laddus. Aaj mera driving test tha, laddu khao. So everybody wants to know, pass ho gaya na? Nahi yaar, fail ho gaya. You failed in giving laddu? He says, yeah, so what? I did my test. I'm giving you laddus. Why are you worried about pass and fail? He failed about 7-8 times. And 7-8 times he got laddus. When he passed also, he brought the laddus and gave us. So he said, that's a very good mindset, you know. Where you're able to see that you're celebrating everything, you know. What's the problem? Why do I have to wait? Only on the time I pass, I will give you laddus. And we will enjoy ourselves. Let's enjoy our both successes and failures. So it was interesting to see how he would do that. And that was really going with the flow. Okay, last one is Saturday. Wow. Any guesses what it could be? Silence. No, it's not silence. Simplify. If you want to simply fly. All right? Simplify if you want to simply fly. On a Saturday. And so here it's very important for us to know what's the definition of being rich. Because many times we get complicated in life because we want to be rich, you know. I want to be a rich man. I want to be a rich woman. And so what is the meaning and definition of richness? Okay, this is a good definition. The richest man is not he who has the most, but he who needs the least. The richest man is not he who needs the most, but he who needs the least. And now think back, who do you think is the richest man in the world? Who needs the least. And so from this very day you could be the richest man and woman on earth if you're just able to take care of your needs and reduce them, simplify them, and then you're rich. But as your desires and your expectations and your needs keep growing and going out of proportion, you're going to always feel like a beggar. You're always going to feel like I'm in need for something. Give me. So you're like standing with a bowl for something or the other every time. You get this, you need the next one. You get that, you get the next one. So when you want to simplify, and I think there's a huge movement nowadays, right? On how we can simplify things. So it's good for us to really look at a physical level, okay, simplifying things, but at a mental level also. At a mental level, what does simplification at a mental level mean? What does at a physical level what does it mean at a mental level? Simplification. Let's ask the people at the back. Sorry, I've been only talking to them. I've been talking to all of you, right? All right. So at the back, what does simplification at the mental level mean? Very beautiful. Contentment. So when you're simplifying here, you're learning the art of contentment. There's contentment in Hindi. It's santusht money, they say. The money, you know, money is a jewel. They say the most valuable money, the most valuable jewel is santusht money. If you have that money, you have everything. But if you don't have that one money, then even if you have everything, it's like you don't have anything. So where there's contentment, you got all. But where there's no contentment, even if you have all, it's like you have nothing. And so that's richness. And so Saturday, you have something good to think about. Be content and enjoy yourself. The richest man is not he who has the most or possesses the most, the one who needs the least. Great. Any questions? So with these rituals, do you think you can actually go back and do a lot of wonderful things in life? Yes. Yeah? Yes. Very nice. So you're leaving with some brilliant tools, some beautiful ideas, some wonderful things to be the human being. Yeah, the whole theme was to move from a human doing into being a human being. And so that's where we are all now. very, very charged to go back and expose and allow the being to come out and flow into life. And believe me, when each of us do that, we're going to see a very brilliant Bangalore. Right? Because you're connected with the whole world, actually. Not just Bangalore. Right? There are some people who spoke to me today, and they're working for Middle Eastern market. So I have to leave today because Middle East is open on Sunday. And so there are some people working with the Americas, Northern, Southern, some people working with Europe, some people working with Far East, some people working with Australia. So you're all connected to the world. So imagine what you're going to do is going to influence the globe. Isn't that awesome? And do you see that responsibility with that power coming to you now? Remember, you're responsible for the world. So don't just let it go lightly. Take on that responsibility and build in these rituals. You must, before you leave, fixed in your mind, you should have determined thought, this is going to be my schedule every day. If you don't have that ritual, a schedule, you will lose it, because when you go out of this place, you have a million things to do and a billion things that will come and occupy your space of time. You've got to make time for it. I build a schedule 4 to 4:45, come whatever may be in Dubai. I move at 3:45 from my house. I go to this meditation center at 4 o'clock to 4:45 every day. That's a fixed schedule. Whatever happens, that doesn't change. And so that supports me as I move forward. And so I think it's important for us to just build some schedule, build a rigor. And it would mean sacrificing something else, which is less important. Because I believe you should have realized today how important you are. You've given your time and your effort and your energy to everything around you, but you've forgotten yourself. And that doesn't serve anybody, actually. You'll give half of what you have to others. So you want to give others, and that's why you're giving every time to them, but you yourself are depleted, so you'll give your depleted self to others. But what we would like you to do is we want you to give your full self to others. And so first for you, take the time out. I am going to spend this amount of time for myself. And through the day, whether I ring this wonderful singing gong or not, the bowl, I will take those pauses. Just go in, to go up, and then to go on. Through the day, you've got to do that practice. And that's why we kept doing that every hour here. So you get that. It's a beautiful practice. It's called the power to withdraw. You all went to that hub, right? The virtue hub. There's a power to withdraw. Should you read that? A very important power. Withdraw. What is withdraw? And then come back. Otherwise, you're always outside. You don't have the power to withdraw. You're going to be really handicapped. It's very important to be able to withdraw. And so you've got to do that constantly in the work. If you don't withdraw, then you're not in touch with those values. You're not in touch with the power. And so you're depleted if you're not withdrawing. So it's very important to withdraw. Fill yourself and come back. It can just be 1 minute, but you've got to do that. Yeah. So it's like charging your mobile. The more number of apps that are open, the more charge is required. And for us as IT professionals, too many apps. Multitasking all the time, right? Got so many things that I got to do. And so you have to charge yourself more than anyone else. So keep, come. You learn very fast, but you should do it. Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. So we got 15 minutes of Q&A. Lovely. Yes, brother.
Yeah. My name is Venkatesh. This is regarding the purpose of life. Now, fundamentally, I believe in we are the children of God. There is a purpose defined to one and all. And I strongly feel that this purpose of life, if we are able to achieve, right, is a salvation. Right? And of all of us here understand the purpose of life, right? Everything becomes beautiful. Everything becomes self-motivated, and all these 7 days of life, whatever we plan to do, will fall in place automatically. So do you have anything to tell about this purpose of life? And if you are able to achieve this, is it the path for salvation?
The purpose is salvation, is what you said.
Yeah, if you are able to complete, if I understand my purpose of life, because I strongly believe in that.
Perfect.
Right,
Absolutely.
Yeah. I have come down here, God has sent me to fulfill some purpose.
Beautiful.
Right? I don't know what is that purpose. my life would be first identify that purpose and try to fulfill that.
Okay.
And the moment I'm able to fulfill that purpose, that becomes my salvation.
Very nice.
Yeah, is that, can you throw some light on this?
Sure, okay. So it's interesting. Okay. I think we have a brother who wants to add to that, or is that a response to that?
No, it's just a related.
Oh, sure, please.
So I thought it's easier for you to answer this. More often than not, the purpose of life, is obviously what we seek, in this world, in terms of what's the purpose of my life. I don't think it's defined and people have it etched in terms of what's the purpose of my life, because we're always in constant seeking of it, right? Because I'm not too sure of most of it, but I definitely am seeking as to what the purpose of my life is. It could be life itself, but we often try and look at what is the purpose of my life. It could be an act, like he said, God sent him, there's a purpose, that's salvation. But I'm saying there are many more such instances that he would possibly find that his purpose is being defined in different fields, and I don't know if that truly would be salvation, because that's still a journey. So I really wanted to know, as kid, do we get to identify what our purpose of life is? As we evolve at various stages, do we actually know what the purpose of our life is? Or is it this constant search, on? This is a question that I had even when you actually defined it. I wanted to ask you, but I just thought it could be easier to answer along with that question. Thank you.
All right, and it's interesting. When you look at purpose of life, I feel it's very individual for each person. It's very individual for them in terms of what they have come here for. And so there is a certain purpose that I would have, which will be very different from somebody else that somebody else has got. But this much I know will be common in everybody's purpose. I'm sure the purpose would usually be, for example, I have got a lot of qualities that I come with. One of the ways for me is to experience and express those qualities. Experiencing my qualities and expressing those qualities to a large extent becomes a purpose. And that's usually common for most of them. So if you see that you have certain qualities inside you that you really love, that you really look forward to, for someone it could be love, for somebody it could be compassion, for somebody it could be encouragement and power, and for somebody it could just be sustenance. For some of them it could be wisdom. For some it could be enlightenment. There could be some things that touch each of us at a very deep level. We actually feel very connected to some of these values. And so for us, what we would like to see in this world, and we'll feel fulfilled. For me, salvation is really a state of fulfillment. When I reach salvation, it means I feel that, wow, that state of contentment, the state of being totally happy with yourself, being at peace, being completely at a state of balance. You are having salvation. If you are full over here, and I don't think you have to wait for a certain end goal for salvation. We can experience that as we move as well. Salvation in life, that's very much possible. So if I have been able to experience these qualities and express those qualities, I would feel that I am fulfilling my purpose. And I think it's very interesting that each and every one of us start experimenting with this. We've seen our core values. We've tried to see what are some of the things that we like to see others contributing. If I am able to stay in that core values of mine, and if I start expressing myself in any action I do, action immaterial, many times I believe my purpose would be in an act. Now I could be a singer. I might be a singer. I may be an artist. I may be a person who is a professional in probably designing certain apps. So these are my skills. They are my talents. Now, in that expression of those skills and talents, as I'm doing that, what is it that I'm able to contribute to others? Somebody's singing, listen to my songs, and their hearts are growing fonder. They're able to feel a healing coming inside. I'm able to enthuse people. I'm able to bring encouragement. People are able to stand up and walk again. That becomes my purpose. I say, wow, I love to see how this is shifting people. So the mode could be anything. I could use it through art. I could use it through my way of singing. I could use it through anything that I think I have a talent in. That could be a channel through which I'm able to express those values that I value most. And when I see that happening over there, I feel amazing. You go and ask any artist who's a singer. The singer might come and stand and sing the best song. You might come and say you have a great voice, you have this, and that might be a good appreciation for that. But when somebody comes and says, you know what, after listening to you, this is what changed in my life. After listening to you, I was actually separated from so and so, we came together. We were having an issue, but after listening to you, we came together. You go and ask the singers, they said, this is really what I really care for most. I mean, these are certain things they love to hear. If they start seeing that they're making a difference to others, they believe that their purpose is being fulfilled. And so that's what we need to see. What is it that I am good at, that I can do, so that I can make a difference to others? But for that, it's very important that we are aligned with our core. If you're not aligned with the core, we may be thinking we are doing something, but it's probably just for all my own purposes. I'm actually doing this just for myself, believing that I'm actually doing it for others. But I think sincerely, when you start shifting inside and understanding that I'm here to do something for everybody else, because I'm included in that. I'm automatically included in that. And so I probably would reach a stage where contentment, happiness, bliss, peace, I'm able to have all of that. And if I'm staying true to myself, then I'm having strength inside, I'm having understanding of who I am, I'm aligned, I know what I can control, what I cannot, and I'm living my life in a very, very fulfilled fashion. So that could be salvation to a certain extent. Anybody else? Yes, please.
So you spoke about trust, right? So what I wanted to ask was, say, you build trust with...
Trust.
Yeah, so you build trust with people, you have a relationship with. And sometimes those relationships could be, the other person could be letting you down again and again. So in that, is it still okay to keep, depositing your trust, or just withdrawing completely is the solution? What do we do there?
Right, interesting. Thank you for that question. I strongly believe withdrawing completely is never the solution. Never ever the solution. Even if you at a physical level can withdraw, at a mental level, withdrawal would mean hatred. Withdrawal would mean having some thoughts for them which may not be very positive. Because every time that person's mind, obviously it's there, right? It's there inside. So when you say withdraw, you're trying to have no energy in that particular direction. But for me, I think it's very important in any relationship at a mental level to have good wishes and pure feelings for that person still. Even if I've done what I could do, I've tried my best to have this relationship going, it's not working for me, I need to move on, I do move on. But at the mental level, I'm still able to see how I can keep that person in good stead and have certain good feelings for that person, have good vibrations for that person. And that's a very, very important part. Now, whether it's building trust or not, at least from your space, you're not carrying baggage, you're not carrying negativity, you're not carrying unwanted thoughts. Because when you shift inside, they say the best defense is offense. So, and it needs to be used in the right context actually. The best defense is offense. So if you want to defend yourself from anything negative, you have to push something positive in that direction. If you don't push anything positive, if you're just like that, then you'll be affected by the negative. So you've got to have something going to that direction which is good at a mental level. And that is possible if you move away from the body and understand the being. If you're focused only on that relationship as a body, as the role of that person, it's difficult to have that feeling. That feeling will automatically come when you go beyond that physical into the spiritual. Then it's easy to flow. Is that okay? Thank you. We have time for one question, please. Okay. We have 3 questions.
So when you spoke about
Just 1 minute, please, so everyone can hear your question.
So when you spoke about these 7 habits that we have to, do on a weekly basis, how do we go about the same? As in, we meditate on a certain topic, and do we document our learnings?
Yeah.
Or how is the process going to be?
Okay, beautiful. I think it's a valid question, and thanks for asking me this question. So he's asking, how do you actually do these 7 habits? Did anybody think of a plan how you're going to do this? Because if he asked it, maybe he didn't have a plan, but probably others didn't ask it because you already know how to do it.
Maybe the whole day, after every hour or so, when we go inside, we connect and we concentrate on that thought and how we what we thought that day.
Okay, so through the day you like to contemplate on that one theme. So you take a theme on Saturday and I simplify, and that's a good thing. Through the day in the office, is my mind simplified? Is my stuff around simplifying? Am I expecting too much? Am I asking for too much? Is this simplicity in action? So you're then seeing in a very practical way. And also in the start of the day, it's nice to take the theme out and to sit and contemplate on simplification in the morning and say, okay, fine. Today I'm going to have a very simple mind. My mind is going to be very simple. I'm going to be very content with everything that comes to me. I'm going to stop complaining. And this is a churning that you'll do. I'm just churning as I'm speaking to you. I never thought of this. I'm going to stop complaining. I'm going to stop comparing. I'm going to stop competing. And I'm going to just be content. So that's the contemplation which you have in your meditation. And so you start with that, you understand it, you let it deeply ingrain in yourself, and then you start your day, and then through the day you see, okay, oh, I was comparing. Ha, come on, simplify, brother. Oh, I was competing. Stop, be more content. Because the moment you compete and compare and complain, you're not content. And so how do you do that? So look at, churning is really sitting down, taking an idea and trying to go deep into the meaning of it and trying to see how is it possible and how is it connected to other things. If I have to be content, is this a good word? Okay, today I'm going to be content. But what does that really mean to me, being content in a practical level? And so you churn on those things. And then you start watching it through the day and night journal. Today was a day of simplifying, and I wanted to stay content in this mental space. This is how I felt, and this is what I did. And these are things I'll do next Saturday so that I'm staying absolutely simple. And so that's nice to journalize as well. Okay. You have two questions here as well. Okay.
Is it possible that the more we being contented, then we become moving towards mediocrity?
Mediocrity. Would contentment move me to mediocrity? You can be as content as you want, and you can still have goals, and you can still aim higher. You can still keep aiming higher and higher and higher. So I'm not comparing with you, but I'm looking at what is better. So when you're journalizing in the night, what are you trying to see is, I said I'm going to be simple and content. Although I did this. So you still want to move forward. You want to go higher. You want to go higher. You want to go higher. You're contented, but you're not. I mean, are you really contented? If you can really go into that space of contentment, you would never have this thought about, will I be mediocrity? Because if you really want to get into that space of contentment, you will be excellent. There will be excellence in it. Because in contentment also you're looking for excellence. I'm pursuing excellence in contentment. And so how do I do that? And so it's a very interesting thing. But it's not at all going to stop you from moving, progressing, going higher. So you're not satisfied in that sense. Satisfaction is different from contentment. Contentment, santusht mani. Somebody who understands that I'm not just going to want more and more and more and more. I know there's a lot of wisdom in contentment, remember. Contentment does not come without wisdom. It has a lot of wisdom under it. What does that really mean for you? And so, truly speaking, it's an absolutely true aspect that when you have contentment, then you have everything in the world.